Welcome to Satoshi Economy, honest global crypto news and info, where the message is more important than the messenger. Facebook announces Libra. I will be discussing the white paper. I've read the white paper. I'll be discussing just philosophically, just take a philosophical point of view to report on this project, because it's very, very important to really know what's going on here. There's a lot of opinions out here, a lot of perspectives, and my perspective will come primarily from a purist point of view, or a cryptocurrency purist point of view, in something that's good for mankind as a whole. Today is Thursday, June 20th, 2019. Bitcoin is at about, as we speak, about 92.50. And the last day it's ranged about 1.3% up and down. It's ranged between 90.50 and 93.50. So the first thing I want to mention about this whole project is, number one, this is not a cryptocurrency. This report I'm doing right now is not an endorsement of the Facebook Libra Project. I do report on it because of the importance of it. So I just want to make that very, very clear. I don't promote this whole project. Having said that, this is history making, and it's one of the most important financial events in the history of mankind. It truly is, and for many reasons, primarily because there's just so many people involved on the platform. They boast about 2.4 billion subscribers. They boast 1 billion subscribers that are active daily, and Facebook also owns and intends to use the Libra coin on those platforms, as well as Instagram and WhatsApp, which altogether they may have a total impact potentially of 3 billion. So what this really means is that Facebook will become a central bank, and it could potentially be instantaneously the largest bank in the world, simply because of the number of people who will have the availability to use the system. I've been reporting and writing articles on the project since I first began to hear some serious press releases about it as early as March of this year. So I do have, what I have done is I have a lot of background on the project. I've read plethora articles on it because of its importance, and I want to be able to report on it from a perspective that has done a lot of research. So I read the white paper, and it's broken up into 8 sections. I'll say a little bit about that, but I'll also say that the primary person, or one of the most influential cryptocurrency and Bitcoin advocates and experts. There's not many experts in this field, but Andreas Antonopoulos is regarded practically amongst the top, or maybe even the most highly regarded expert on Bitcoin. Excuse me, apologize. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and just from a technical standpoint, and also he is very, very good at explaining it. But he makes a good point. He's posted a couple times Libre, not Libra. So I really, really like that. It is not at all about liberty, and it's not at all about freedom. So I just want to make that very, very clear. That's the primary reason why I don't promote it. But because of how wide-ranging and impactful and important the project is, we need to know about it. The reason why it's come to this, with Facebook launching their own coin, it's actually a 2-coin system. But the reason why they've even entered into this is because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was launched January 3rd, 2009, and what it is a form of money. Any kind of money has to have at least 3 fundamental characteristics. It has to be a store of value, has to be a unit of account, and it has to have a means of exchange. And any form of money or unit of means of exchange has to have fundamentally also value. And where does value come from? There's a lot of opinions or discussion of that, but the primary thing is trust. If people use it as a unit of as money, people have to trust in it as a valid form of taking care of their money. And right now there's multiple millions upon millions of people around the world since 2009 who are using Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and so that is a very intrinsic form of value. So many people will tell you that it doesn't have any value backing it, and they really speak more from a traditional standpoint because they can't wrap their head around why this new thing on the internet that's digital, that you can't see, could even possibly have any value. Well, it's because they're not from Generation Z, or they're not a millennial, is kind of a simple way to put it. But the 5 things that Andreas Antonopoulos says that are foundational for a cryptocurrency to be a true cryptocurrency, it has to have an open, number one, an open blockchain. It has to be borderless. It has to be neutral. It has to be public, and it has to be censorship resistant. Now, this Facebook project Libra has none of those. In the white paper, they mentioned 3 fundamental characteristics of their project. One, that it is speedy. One, that it's stable. And one, that it is inexpensive. And they're touting mainly that this will be good for people who are disadvantaged or disenfranchised or don't have banking privileges, either because they're so far from banks, or they really don't have a lot of money, or they don't have technology. Like there's several reasons, and actually there's billions of people. Estimates say there's probably about 2 billion people who are unbanked or marginally unbanked. So Facebook is coming right out, and in their press releases and all of the narrative, they're saying, hey, this we're doing for the good of all the people. Well, danger, Will Robinson. I mean, who is saying this? Facebook is a lying company, okay? Everybody knows it, and all the times that they were challenged recently, they never really apologized or even came across as if, oh, we're gonna, absolutely positively, take care of your private data. No, they don't, because data is the new oil in this generation. And one thing that no one is really speaking about very much about this entire project Libra is the fact that it's a spending data grab. And Facebook will be able to monetize this and gain great wealth from that. Now, there are some good things that will happen. They will minimize. It'll essentially be the Uber of money. They're going to disintermediate. They're going to disrupt central banks. They'll be like their own central bank. So there's a lot of effect and impact that they will have. But I just want to be someone who is speaking, that this is something that we need to be very careful about. The reason why it's here is because of Bitcoin, and it's important that after the 10 years of effect that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies have had in the world, it has gotten to this point where there is traditional mainstream forms of financial services that are beginning to utilize the blockchain technology and implement what they call cryptocurrencies, or to implement digital currencies, because it really is a very important financial innovation and the way of the future. We already know to a large degree what to expect from this project. There is a project in China that is on the social platform called WeChat, and I'll put a link into a YouTuber named Box Mining. He's out of Hong Kong, and he has experienced a lot of what's taken place in there with the WeChat is a multi-billion subscriber base social platform that they've implemented, a digital currency, and he says that it's changed everything. I mean, you could pay your rent, you buy a cup of coffee, you can even pay a banker with it on the street. It's ubiquitous, I guess you could almost say. Of course, I have not been there. I can't speak from that point, but just saying secondhand that it has changed the entire scope of finances in that country. Now, in America and the rest of the world, it really does look like we're into a new whole paradigm. There's Facebook Libra Project has created a brand new economy, a brand new ecosystem, and the Libra coin, whatever they're going to call it, is a fiat-backed coin that people will be able to utilize for transactions and trading and making transactions on the internet. So there are just so many ways that this will change things, because as a central bank of sorts, we look at the past models. The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, they have a currency that's called the SDR. It's known as the special drawing rights, and they have pegged they have a basket of currencies that they use, that they peg their currency on. Right now the SDR is $1.38, I understand, but they use the dollar, the Japanese yen, the British pound sterling, and the euro. And recently, a couple, 3 years ago, they added the Chinese yuan, also known as I can never pronounce this, renminbi. But interestingly, the Facebook Libra coin will not use the Chinese yuan as a currency that they're going to peg their Libra coin on, because China already has their own WeChat platform doing the same thing. So, in other words, the Facebook Libra coin will be pegged to the dollar, the euro, and the Japanese yen. I guess you could say the British pound sterling also. But they will peg it to these currencies in an effort to substantially have a stable coin which will minimize the volatility and provide an environment for people to negotiate and to make transactions. So I will do at least a couple more videos on this project because even as I've been reporting on it right now, speaking in this video, there's just so many things that are of importance to mention. The Libra coin, the white paper, is broken up into 8 sections: an intro to Libra. The Libra blockchain is number 3. Number 4, the Libra, the currency and reserve. The Libra association is number 5. Number 6, what's next for Libra. Number 7, how to get involved. And number 8 is a conclusion. So I'll leave a link to the Libra white paper. It's not a very long read, I suppose, about 30 minutes or so. I'll also leave a link to the Satoshi white paper, which is a 7-page document. It's very marked, the difference between the two. Satoshi's white paper is very clear and concise and pointed and specific, whereas the Libra white paper is, in some ways, it reads almost like a press release. It's very smooth, and it talks about some things in the future, a 5-year plan to involve more people. So on its face, it looks like something that's very, very good. And there are some good aspects about it, but just purely in the sense, to sum it up, simply, the way I look at it is it's a bridge, which is something that's necessary for the global environment, a bridge between the traditional banking system and true cryptocurrencies. So this is a bridge of sorts, definitely. And I was reading yesterday that now there are 300 billionaires, Bezos, Gates, and there's the guy who owns Louis Vuitton, a French guy. But this, I mean, you're talking about Bezos launching, he gained 40 or 50 billion in a year, something like that, with the Amazon project. And with what Zuck is doing right now, and since he owns a majority of Facebook, he's in a very, very powerful position. And because of the magnitude of this project, I think he might, I'm going out on a limb here, but because of everything that's going on and the position that he's in, he could be the first 150 or 200 billionaire. I'm going to sign off here real quick and stay tuned for another video updating and discussing more about the project. Hashtag love all, serve others. And please like and subscribe. And until next time, peace.